Hello there, this is Johan from Grimner, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. And as always, I am bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today it is an honor and privilege to have some Viking metal heads on the show with me. Right now I have Johan. He is from the band Grimner. We're going to be talking to him about their new album, Vanadrottning. And I hope I said that correctly, but if not, he's going to let me know. That is released on Despotz Records, and it's out right now. So Johan, how's it going?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
How special is it for this band to be celebrating its 10th anniversary this year? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite amazing. I mean, a lot of bands don't survive that long. I mean, we were quite young when we started, and just taking all this trip all the way to this year, it's been quite a ride.
Exactly. You know, you hit the nail on the head right there, man. 10 years for a band to be around that hardly doesn't even exist right now for new ones, because you got to think about the old bands, the legends, they're still around and stuff like that, the ones who paved the way. But now these young bands, it's like one or two albums and then they're done. It's like they phase out for some reason.
Yeah.
What's impressed you the most about making this new album? What's caught your eye about, if anything? What's impressed you with it?
Well, I think also the previous album we released was the first one we released with Despotz Records, and the first album we actually had kind of a bit of a budget and could actually put some real work into it, or hire a studio and producers and stuff like that. And I mean, that's the first time, and we did a great job. And when we went to this new album, we thought, okay, now we know what we're doing. We're gonna just be more prepared, and we'll work fine. But as well as the band grows, the production grows, and it ended up being even more work than the previous album.
But how many people are actually in the band with you guys? Because I know there's several with you all.
Yeah, we are 6 people in the band.
How long did it take to record this album?
The recording we did in pretty short succession. We kind of went for a weekend, and then about a full week of more recording, and then a week of editing, and then maybe one more weekend of just the finishing touches. So it was a bit spread up, but I mean, probably about 2 weeks studio time or something like that.
Did this album take less time than the debut album, you think?
No, yeah, it took some more time. I mean, the debut album was the BODS, the one we recorded ourselves. And I think this one took a bit longer time, yeah.
So going from producing yourself to actually having a producer, do you like it this way, or do you like just to do DIY part of it?
I mean, there's a bit of both, but I mean, also the producer is a guy we hired ourselves. He is our sound engineer, who kind of has helped producing the album as well. So it's a friend of ours who does it as well. So it works really good. And
the guy who produced the album, what was his name?
His name is Alexander Odis, and he's an old friend of mine. We went to school at one time, way back. And he is, he's a sound engineer, and got a couple of bands of his own. And he just give a lot of good input when we recorded our music. He's really good with coaching, especially drums and vocals. He's really great with the vocals, which really you can hear in between the first album and the first one we released with Despotz Records. During that album, we really get a lot more choirs going and more the focus on the vocals.
That was going to be my next question. You know, how hard did Alexandra push you guys on this? I mean, did he set like, okay, friendship's at the door, we got to focus on this and do this as a business? You know, how hard did he push you guys on this? I mean,
not too hard. It's still us kind of running the band, and he's just producing the album, kind of giving some input on just what to think on while recording, and maybe some just things here and there, but it's still us who decide everything, pretty much so.
What has Martin brought to this band since he's joined it?
Well, a hell of a lot of enthusiasm. It's really, I mean, when you got a new guy who's really excited, he's very energetic, so he's been doing really great for the band from start, and he is a great guitar player. He's really good at it. And He's is quite close with his vocal range to our previous clean singer and guitarist. Though he has a kind of bit of his own sound in his vocals as well. So it's been working really good with him joining the band.
Any song?
And I mean, he kind of joined the band, and in about 1 month he learned a whole new album and went into the studio.
Any songs off the album that stand out more to you on it, possibly, if any?
Yeah, I would probably say the song Kvällningssång, which usually the lyrical themes is about Norse mythology, but in this one we went with kind of Swedish folklore and just kind of the mythology, the folklore of fairies and stuff in Swedish old folklore, and that song turned out really interesting and very diverse from the rest of the songs, I think.
Here's something cool that I like about these bands, like the style that you guys have. Do you guys like to keep it traditional Swedish music, stuff like that, or do you like to keep it traditional and kind of add in the new style that you guys are doing?
I mean, it's a bit of both. I mean, we're still playing metal. It's not a super traditional folk music. I mean, I play the flutes, but I mean, technically the flutes I play are Irish flutes mostly. Mm-hmm. I have some other flutes as well, but just to kind of to get the feeling of the kind of folky part, the melodic parts, and to work that together with the lyrics to just create something that you really enjoy and catch the spirit of the folk metal.
How much growth musically, Johan, have you seen this band go through up to the release of this album, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you?
I guess a little bit of both, but also as a band, I mean, we've grown incredibly. I mean, from being young kids who just want to play metal and drink beer, and to having a band for 10 years. And I mean, now we kind of, I mean, it's basically a small company you're driving. You have to do the bookkeeping, and I mean, you're buying merchandise, planning a long way ahead with tours and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of work. So it's a lot of things have changed in that regard as well.
Do you do anything differently during the writing and recording process to maybe help keep your mind fresh and open to not let the music get stale, or go back down a path that you guys don't want to go back down again? Do you do anything differently to clear your head, to stay focused? Yeah,
I mean, I guess mostly it is about this very intense period of when recording an album, and it's also followed by an intense year of touring and playing those songs. So I mean, it kind of is always good to listen to just different music, maybe even other genres, maybe not even metal, just to also feel a bit fresh. And maybe also just explore a bit, listening to what's going on in the music scene, and just try to find some inspiration from maybe something else than just listening to other folk metal bands as well, because you don't want to get too caught up in what everyone else is doing as well. So, yeah. Something like that, I think.
What can fans expect at a show from Grimner who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
Yeah. Well, if you're not seeing Grimner live, I think you would still quite enjoy the show. It's even if you don't understand the lyrics, the music is it's intense, it's fun, very. If you go to a gig, you'll probably see a lot of people drinking and dancing, pretty much, and just having a great time.
Now, we're living in the digital era of recording albums and plus social media. Do you like this that we're in right now, to record albums quicker, get out faster, and plus social media to reach more fans that may have not got to hear of you guys, possibly?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great tool for spreading music. That's how a lot of bands who got famous probably wouldn't have become famous unless it were for the tools of the modern age with the internet and everything that goes with it. And it is a great tool for spreading music. I mean, just be able to put your music video on YouTube to have people just look at it whenever they want, instead of have to getting on a TV channel or something, which would be incredibly hard. It is a great tool to really work with. Then it's a personal thing if you enjoy being hooked up to the internet all the time. But as a tool for the band, it's really good.
In your own opinion, man, what does Grimner bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, possibly?
Well, I think we grew up with a kind of early era of the big folk metal bands going during the early and late 2000s with bands like Fintroll, Amanamar, Porpiklani, Helvetia. And we think that's kind of what we grew up with, and then we started playing our own music and trying to take folk metal in, just making it our own and try to explore it a bit more. And I think we're doing a pretty good job so far. I think we're developing a sound that's really, it's getting to be known as the sound of Grimner. And mainly it's just very melodic death metal with a lot of interesting lyrics if you want to get into it. Otherwise, it's just very fun music to just grab a beer and have fun with. Yeah, pretty much that.
Support-wise, have you guys seen a lot of support come from your hometown area, or have you seen support come more from like radio play and via, just regular venues and things like that? Have you saw more support out or in from your hometown?
I mean, we live in a pretty small town where the band started, and we have moved our rehearsal pad to even just the countryside pretty much. I mean, you don't hear that much about the band in the hometown, but I would probably say that the most exposure we're getting is probably even outside of Sweden, more in the parts of the northern Europe. Countries like Germany and the countries around there have a really dedicated folk metal fan base. They have multiple festivals just dedicated to just folk metal and that kind of music. So we actually play more outside of Sweden than we do in Sweden, very much.
So what made you want to become a musician, Johan? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
Yeah, I would say it was, I was really young when I started playing music. I was 7 years old. And at my school, they kind of went from the city's local music school. The teachers went there and just showed up some instruments. And I saw the teacher played the violin, and he played kind of folky pop song from a Swedish artist that I really thought was so cool. And then I realized I wanted to learn the violin, and I wanted to play that song as well. And I was 7 years, and then I started playing the violin.
Any show or moment that stands out to you more than any that you can recall being part of Grimner's, being on stage or something, saying, wow, this is something I really want to keep doing. This is something I can't believe that I'm doing right now. Yeah,
I would say it is. We went to a pretty small but really great festival in Germany called the Hörnerfest. It's a folk metal festival. We played there quite early during our career, and it went really good. And a couple of years, we were going back there for the second time. It was just a couple of months before we released the Frostmotell album. And we kind of wanted to get a later spot since we had played there before, but they said, you're not grown that much, so you get a pretty early spot. I think it was the third band playing that day, so it's about 2 o'clock. And the prior bands were just only folk music band, so we were first metal band. But then when we started playing, there were so much people who just flooded the area and just filled up the place completely. And we had one hell of a gig, and afterwards the people kind of went back and waited till the big band started playing during the evening. And it's kind of when I realized, wow, people really want to go and see us. And that's probably one of the most memorable gigs I've had.
That's pretty badass, man. When you when you come on stage like that, and then you've got your band playing, and then after you guys stop, they go back and wait till the big guys come up on stage. That's pretty cool, man. So congratulations on that, because that's hard to do.
Thank you.
Folks, Grimner's new album, Vanadrottning, is out right now, and I hope I pronounced that right. It's out via Despotz Records. Johan, how can folks get out and pick that album up, stay in touch with you guys, tour dates, tickets? How can they do that? You can find all the links on our social medias. We're on most everything, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I think you can also buy merchandise at our Bandcamp page. So you can go to Bandcamp and search for Grimner, or I think it is just grimner.bandcamp.com, I think. Otherwise, links are at most of the social media. You can also find the merchandise links. Good, sir. Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Yeah, sure. Hello there. This is Johan from Grimner, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Johan, thank you so much, and keep rocking metal out for me, man.
I shall. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.